Everyone think being in a cross-cultural, interracial marriage or relationship, it's all about traveling and eating and trying new food.
No, the hardest part is for me it was I had to pack the 15 years of my life in two bags and moving across the continents and starting over again, making new friends, being in new community.
I think also one of the most difficult things is the moment that you have to leave family behind to go and meet family. It's that tear in your heart constantly about leaving people behind, but you're also going to meet people.
So, I'm sure you have seen the title of this video. This is part 2. We do have part 1 of this video. If any of you haven't watched that part 1, please go end of this video and click on the link. And on this video specifically, Anmari is going to share about how she navigated us in this relationship with her parents and especially with her whole family actually. So over to you, Anmari.
Yeah, I had the massive privilege of growing up in a family that loves the Lord. I think my mom and dad, if I can honor them for how they always see God's heart, I really, it's been such a privilege growing up in the house that I did, and the example that they set for us, like the example was really meeting, like always looking towards Christ. And I think one of the biggest things that we felt in our journey, the biggest thing God has put on our heart that we were trusting for is in Ephesians 6, the word says that we need to honor and obey our parents. And we knew we can't move forward with our relationship if we don't have the blessing of my parents. And I think for them, we will definitely share my dad's testimony as part of his story about what God has showed him and for us, for him to give the yes for us. Yeah. But it's actually so beautiful, like how my mom and dad was seeking God's heart. So it was challenging, it was difficult, it was overwhelming, it was different. There were so many emotions going on in that season of us getting together. But one thing that they did is they were saying, I'm going to seek the Lord and we're going to hear what God is saying. If this is what God wants, then who are we to stand in between what God wants and what God's will is? So yeah, I really want to honor my mom and dad for that. I think they played such a big part, and they're also part of our lives right now as well, like directing and leading and guiding us in God's ways. But I think it's such a blessing to be able to walk in the fullness of what God has for us, because we honored my parents throughout, even though it took us 2 years. But that's really something that we felt is we need to wait. I think also a big thing, like what I mentioned in the beginning about leaving family to go and meet family, it's a burden to carry, I must say, but it is so beautiful to be able to leave our family here, knowing like my mom and dad and my brothers and their wives, like we're leaving them here, but there's such a big, rich family, like culturally rich and spiritually, like really also loving the Lord. Family that we have in India and Subodh's family, biological family as well. We are so blessed to have two different cultures to embrace. And it is such a blessing to know when we go there, we can spend time with them and love on them. And when we are here, we have the privilege to be around my family. So it's more of like our hearts are in two places, and it's actually not a big burden to carry. It's more of a celebration that we are looking forward to every time that we can be with my family or when we can be with his family.
That is 100% on point. Like also my wife said just now that leaving one family to visit other family. So for me it was also a challenge when I moved to South Africa. Won't say it was a challenge. It was a blessing to move for my wife and with her here. But few things that I had to overcome was making new friends and being in new community. Now being open to meet new people actually, and being an introvert, that was difficult for me, very difficult I would say. But I think one thing was very common here was the people that I met and the people that I was around, they shared the same faith, they had the God in their hearts and their lives that I worship, and that gave us that strength and I would say a common ground to stand on and connect and be with these people around here. So it's not always that, I would say, not that easy, but also not something very difficult, because with God everything is possible and God can strengthen us for the purpose that he called us for, and for if we, like my wife said, that if we obey him and honor him like we honored our parents and we obeyed them. So this is what I think we would love to just maybe share from this part of our story. If there's something you guys have challenges you guys are going through at the moment, especially if you're interracial and international couples, and if there's anything you guys are going through, please let us know in the comment box. We would love to pray with you guys, and we would love to see where God takes your this journey and the story where you guys are at the moment in this season.
Yeah, and if you're watching us on Instagram, please send us a DM.
Yeah.
If there's anything that you are going through, that you've experienced, or like Anmari or Subodh, how did you guys navigate this? How did you manage to go through this, and what did God did through your lives in this specific area? So please send us a message. We would love to connect with you guys and walk this journey that you are going through with you. I think we all have different stories, and we can learn from each other, most definitely. But we would love to hear and see how you have grown and what God has done in your life as well.
That's true. But until then, thank you so much for being with us here, and we will see you guys in next video.
Take care. Bye.